Hello, I'm Kelly
Hi.
Tyler, and we live off Miller Bay Road. We take our horses up to Stottlemyre once or twice a week to ride. We're up there today. It was beautiful. What will happen? What are the ideas of how the company's going to deal with the property off of Stottlemyre if we're not able to purchase it by March?
So what happens if there's no conservation project?
Yes.
Well, the first thing that will happen, I mean, not much will change the day after.
Okay.
Okay, but there are, there's the possibility the company may sell in bulk to somebody else. We're always being asked about that property by other folks and other investors.
Oh.
The chances are, though, maybe it'll whittle away slowly over time. Or we may have to go into the 20-acre development mode, and then we're just going to have to really analyze this issue of public access because folks generally aren't that comfortable with folks using their property.
Thank you. Okay. Let's
Sign up. Go there. Don't
I already
wait.
am. I'll
Walk,
go again.
Run, don't walk.
Yes.
Go, woman.
My name is John Straub. I'm a resident of Kingston, and I would like to go on behalf of the mill workers and say I'm still a mill worker, so I would support either plan.
We got somebody for Plan B here, people.
So currently I drive through Port Gamble on a daily basis to go to a mill out on the peninsula to work.
Yep.
But at the same time, when we look at the development of the land and the transfer of the land to the Conservancy, also an avid outdoorsman, like doing a lot of running, mountain biking, everything else. A lot of the groups that have put on the events here, be adventure races, bike races, runs, are concerned also with the fact that if it goes to the Conservancy mode, will those groups still be able to provide the events which will bring in tourists to be able to use that property?
So if I could rephrase the question, so what if the Conservancy ends up with this? Are we going to really get that economic benefit? Are we going to be able to continue these races and this enormous use so that we get the economic benefit? Every single one of the conservation groups we're working with today have committed that public access is going to happen on if they own the property. Okay,
well,
that's why Pope got into this, and that's who we're fighting on behalf of.
Yeah, you all have been great with allowing us to put sections of trail in to make connections to allow these races to occur and get them out of some of the standard areas to keep the public access during the races.
Right.
Even with the public access for the events, I know with the Cascade Land Conservancy and say the Nature Conservancy up at Point No Point, there are was it Foulweather Bluff? There's a lot of restrictions, even though it's public access, on what you can do when you can do it. And that's, if we can get that.
Yeah, I can't guarantee that there won't be a couple extra rules.
Right.
But the whole point of this thing, this conservation started with trail users, and they're a heavy part of this success if we have it.
Because I mean, if you look at the lumberjack run this past year, we had several people rent out cottages from y'all. If there was hotels there, you would have filled those up. The Stottlemyre 60-mile race, the mountain bike race, that was a tremendous pull of people this year, over 300 for that. All the runs at Polesville Running, the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, the 50Ks, all those events bring in people from all over the Sound. And having the hotels downtown as well would be a huge pull for that.
All right, thank you for your comment.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Trevor Evans, and my wife and I, Patricia Andreessen, we live at the very north end of Kitsap County off Twin Spits. So our property looks directly at your North Beach, the new pavilion, the hotel, and the former hotel, the theater, and the store and the mill site. And you've talked about a lot of the impacts that could happen from either plan tonight, and a lot of the elements of the plans are to be admired. I mean, what's not to like?
Could you just get a little closer to that mic?
Okay.
Thanks.
A lot of the elements of the plan that you've described are to be admired. A winery, a creamery, farmer's market. What's not to like? But there is one element of the proposal that we have noticed, longtime residents, seems to be getting worse, and it's something that really often goes unnoticed until it's too late, and that's the issue of appropriate lighting on your land. The lights that we've noticed when we first moved here on the horizon were the distant glow of Seattle, and that was the only reminder that we were close to any sort of residential metropolitan area. But now the most prominent lights on that southern horizon for us is Port Gamble. And most of it is due to the new facilities. Most of it is due to the street lighting, which admittedly is very attractive, but because of the types of lights that you've used, the light and the illumination spills over and is visible to us miles across the bay. So I'm not really asking a question, but I'm urging you, with the kinds of covenants that you can employ and the kinds of control you have as Olympic Property Group as you move forward, pay very careful attention to the design criteria for lighting. A lot of it is easy if you think about it first, and it comes at no cost. You can get lots of examples of it on the Dark Sky website, which is www.darksky.org. PBS television is putting on a special show on July 6th at 10 o'clock p.m. called The City Dark, which is all about this issue. And there are even local examples that you can look at that have worked very well. One of the ones that I saw just coming here tonight was the lighting that's used along the pedestrian trail on Little Boston Road as it goes down from the Gliding Eagle. That lighting we wouldn't be able to see if we were 3 blocks away, but it totally illuminates the pedestrian trail and does the job. So I'm hoping that will be an element of your design as you go forward.
That's a great comment, and that's why we have meetings like this. So thank you for that.
Hi there, John. I'm Helen Hoover from Kingston, and it sounds like you do have a lot of sources of funding, but I need some more explanation, I guess. I'm concerned that there isn't enough funding for your great plans.
Hi, Helen. The funding, you're exactly right. The funding that's there is just for waterfront. And most of the land, about 80 to 90% of the land, does not have funding. So that's the report in. And so we are exhorting people to get creative now and not rely just on funding. We're going to have to get creative again. So what are some of the creative ways? Again, maybe we can push some of the 20-acre lots around. Maybe we can work on a program where as we cut trees, the land goes to the conservancy, so it reduces the price because the trees add an enormous amount of value. So those are compromises to the ideal, but there are compromise plans that could be put together out there. Okay, next. And Sue, are people shouting? Okay, so you want people to speak up or down? Oh, hey, you guys that are not at the podium, if we could just keep it down just a little bit for questions and answers. Thanks. That's going to be impossible, social people. Who else has got a comment or a question?
Hi, I'm Susan Rogers, and I have lived at the south end of Gamble Bay for about 10 years. And say 7 years ago, one of the residents on the opposite side of the bay from me wanted to put in a 230-foot dock. And I became part of a little group called the Friends of Gamble Bay. And we fought that tooth and nail, and it was denied at the county level. Since then, I know Friends of Gamble Bay have expressed concerns about your plans, and I have removed myself from the Friends organization because I completely agree with what your Plan A is. I think that's the best use of the property. Wow. It's the best thing for North Kitsap, and it's the best thing for our bay, not a whole bunch of little individuals trying to stick their arm out into the bay and get just what's right for them. This is something that's right for everybody, wow. And I really applaud you. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Susan. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Bjorn Netland. I'm a resident on the Bay. And my question is, to what extent have the plans that you're proposing here, to what extent do they fit in with some of the ideas that I've heard coming out of the tribe, which seem to be a little bit at variance with what you are proposing? And I believe that quite a few of the residents on the Bay are really concerned about what might happen if the tribe might be successful in derailing your plans. And that is something that I have heard people discuss quite a bit. And you never really said anything about to what extent you had been cooperating with the tribe and to what extent you had buy-in from the tribe in the plans proposed. Thank you.
Okay, well, gosh, thanks for that question. So the question is the dynamic, the always fascinating dynamic with us and the tribes. In the paper last week, Chairman Sullivan mentioned that as long as the project was built in accordance with today's zoning, that it seemed his comment would be that he would be supportive of it. We have been in dialogue with the Port Gamble-Sklallam tribe on and off and for 15 years, so we talk or try to talk all the time. We have discussed many ideas, including their desire to own the mill site and to turn it into a park. And we're not opposed to any idea that is compatible with the town and compatible with the Bay. So, like I said, our mind is open to all ideas, and that's one that we're giving consideration to. I think some people would be disappointed if some of the elements like the hotel were gone, and if it was just a park. I think some people would actually be disappointed. But a lot of other folks would love to just see the mill site turned into a natural area. So our minds are open to it, but the conversations probably need to get a lot more serious than they are at the moment. Okay. Any other questions?